speaking on what's relevant. And if you check the underground, you'll see that there's a menace in nearly every station. I'm standing there adjacent to my mother while she's smiling in amazement. I swear there's no replacement.
Yo, it's TheGIBBYNATR. Welcome back to another Modern Warfare tips and tricks video. In this one, we're going to be covering how you can get rid of recoil and just some tips that are going to really improve your accuracy and help you win more gunfights. But before we get into that, me and It's Lukey are doing a free giveaway of Modern Warfare. So if you'd like to enter that, go into the description. There'll be a link. All you have to do is follow the rules of that link and you'll be entered into the giveaway. Without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So the first tip that I'm going to tell you about is probably the best tip that I could tell you ever that's going to enable you to win more gunfights and get more kills. This is seriously good and you can implement it into your play straight away as soon as you've done watching this video, and you don't have to buy anything. So it is the best tip, and all it involves is every time that you use a new weapon is taking around a minute just to shoot walls. Now you may be thinking, right, this is weird, where's he going with this? But trust me. So what I want you to do is at a range of different distances, go up to a blank wall and literally just use the new gun that you want to use, whether it's an SMG or an assault rifle. Just go up to that wall and without putting your thumb on your right stick, just shoot and aim down your sights and just shoot at the wall. And that will enable you to actually see the recoil pattern of that weapon. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to see that pattern and then you can compensate for that. So what do I mean by compensating? So most of the weapons in Modern Warfare will actually recoil up and slightly to the right. Now, for different guns, it's different and it's different severity. So some will do it more than others. For example, like really high fire rate SMGs will do it way more than low fire rate assault rifles. But it's still worth doing with every gun so you can identify it for yourself and notice it. And once you see this pattern, what you can do is with your right thumbstick, you can actually do the reverse of that pattern and it will counter the recoil. So for example, if your gun does go up and to the right, if you pull down and to the left, that is going to completely get rid of that recoil. And now, so what I want you to do now is at the same distances, shoot at that wall, but now pull down and to the left. And this is where you're going to do this for a minute or so, and you're going to be able to figure out how much you need to pull down and how much you need to pull to the left or to the right, because some guns may go up to the left. So that is a really important tip. And once you do that again and again and again and you get into games, it just becomes muscle memory and it gets to the point where you don't even need grip anymore. And that's obviously really important in Modern Warfare, since all of the attachments and the grips actually cause your aim down sight speed to be reduced. So if you can afford to play without that grip, then you can increase your aim down sight speed, which gives you an advantage over other players that they don't have. So this is definitely worth taking into account. And I mean, you will gradually get used to the recoil pattern of a gun anyway, just by playing with it. But what this tip is going to do is it's going to accelerate how fast you actually learn that recoil pattern and enable you to compensate for it. So definitely put this tip into action. You can either do it in private matches. The gameplay you will have seen was me in the beta, so obviously everyone was trying to kill me whilst I was doing it. I don't recommend doing that. Go into a private match and just figure out all of the guns and you will turn into a god. I promise you that. Moving on to the next tip. This is one that I don't see many people talk about, but it is definitely really helpful. So what this tip is actually involving your sensitivity. So in this game you have a vertical and a horizontal sensitivity, and obviously because most of the guns have a more pronounced vertical recoil rather than a horizontal, so the vertical is more dominant than horizontal, it means that if you actually make your vertical sensitivity lower than your horizontal sensitivity, you're going to have more control over your recoil. So if you think about it logically, the lower your sensitivity is, the more range that you have to pull down on your stick and the more control you have. So to make a small movement, you have to pull down very far. But if you've got really high vertical sensitivity, one little movement is going to make you fly down or fly up, which isn't very precise or controlled. I think you'd agree. So by reducing that sensitivity only by a couple points less, maybe 1 or 2 points less than your horizontal recoil, you're going to give yourself that added control, which is really going to improve your accuracy. This is something that I started doing back in Call of Duty World War II, and it improved my accuracy by just, oh god, so much. It probably made me twice as accurate. I'm not gonna lie. I just became so much better and so much more confident at shooting at long ranges just because of that added control. It's all to do with leverage and the range of motion at which you get movement, but I won't bore you with kind of the science behind it. It's just a fact that having a lower vertical sensitivity will give you more control and will make you more precise. So give it a shot, tell me what you think, and let me know how you get on with that tip. Next, the tip is burst firing. So what do I mean by burst firing? Burst firing is where instead of just holding the trigger down and shooting all of your bullets up at once, which actually kind of every single bullet accumulates and adds to the recoil, so your gun's just going to get higher and higher and higher, and you're going to lose control even more. If you actually burst fire, it's going to account for that, and it's going to allow the gun to return back down to its central position, and you can just keep going back from that central position, and it really does help with recoil. So I'd recommend shooting maybe 5 bullets at a time and then stopping 5 bullets at a time. This is especially useful at really long ranges, just due to how much the gun's recoil if you just hold the trigger down. So definitely give this a shot. And you can even do it for less. Like if they're at super long range, like halfway across the map, then just do 1 bullet at a time, and that's a really good feature in this game that not many people use. So automatically every single gun has select fire. I think it's if you press the left on the D-pad, it will turn your gun into semi-automatic, which is great for long range because it is going to give you that extra added help at reducing the recoil. So give that a shot, and hopefully that'll help you at those really long range gunfights. The next tip is going to involve you making some purchases. So there's Control Freaks or some other products on the market which actually acts as extensions onto your thumbsticks. And what that's going to do is it's going to increase the length of your thumbsticks, and that's pretty much going to do the same as what I said before about reducing your recoil, about reducing your vertical sensitivity. However, the Control Freaks are also going to give you an added grip. So as well as increasing your leverage, allowing you to have more control, they're going to increase your grip onto the actual pad itself. So I know a lot when I'm playing and I'm having a long sesh or I'm going on a big streak, my hands will start sweating, especially if I'm like close to a nuke. And that's the last thing you want. You do not want to be slipping off your thumbsticks. So if you get a nice textured Control Freak, that's going to allow you to stay really gripped. And especially like if you're trying to aim on someone and you're slipping on that stick, that's really going to impact your recoil. So Control Freaks are definitely something worth considering. And they are definitely quite affordable, I would say. So they're worth going for. I'm not sponsored by them. It's just an honest opinion. I think they will improve your game. Right, so moving on to the third tip. This is going to involve utilizing the weapon mount feature in Modern Warfare. These first 3 tips are actually like the best tips, and you should definitely focus on them of this video if you're going to focus on anything. So weapon mounting is also really good, and what it is when you actually go up to either corners of buildings or if you're looking over a wall, you can press in your right stick and it's going to allow you to mount your weapon, and you'll either lean or you'll put your weapon on the wall. And what that's going to do is it is literally going to turn your weapon into a laser. I guarantee you it's going to get rid of all of the recoil. So the tactic here is to, whenever you're in a gunfight or there's potential for gunfights to come up, make sure you're going from cover to cover. You're going from head glitch to head glitch, corner to corner. And that's going to allow you to mount your weapon for a lot of gunfights, and it is going to increase your chance of winning gunfights massively. So when you mount your weapon, it's going to take out all of the recoil pretty much. And as well as that, you're also going to have the cover of whatever you're leaning around or whatever you're like behind. So there's two advantages of it, and it is so helpful. If you can choose either, definitely choose either walls, crates or boxes, compared to like leaning around the corners of buildings, because when you lean around the corners it's a bit dodgy and you do show more of your body than your screen actually shows, so people can see you quite clearly. So definitely being behind objects is the best thing to do, like walls. But either way, you're going to be at an increased chance of winning the gunfight because it gets rid of all of your recoil. And it makes sense because your gun is literally kind of attached to whatever you are using to your advantage, and it's going to be putting a lot of energy into that object, so you're not going to get much recoil. So it's a really helpful one and something that's really easy to implement into your game straight away. That's all the tips I have for this video. If you want to see more tips and tricks videos just like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I have so many Modern Warfare tips and tricks videos coming out. Also, if you could leave a like on the video, that'd be greatly appreciated. A lot of time goes into making all these videos. And also, if you want to enter the giveaway, just go into the description and follow the rules, and you'll be set for winning yourself a free copy of Modern Warfare. But that's it from me. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.